y'all, I'm Leah Lawrence.
And I'm her husband, Mitch Lawrence.
And you are listening to the Southern Spirits Podcast, where I regale my husband with Southern stories of the macabre, creepy, and strange.
And I drink.
So what are we drinking tonight, Mitchell?
Our beer for the night is 420 Extra Pale Ale, brewed and bottled by Sweetwater Brewing Company in Atlanta, Georgia. 5.7% alcohol by volume. Let's read the bottle. A tasty West Coast style pale accentuated by a stimulating hop character. First conceived in our bat cave on 420, this kind beer keeps the wheels on the bus going round and round.
Does that mean they're potheads?
I believe so.
Okay, good to know.
And quite a few references. What I have to say about it is this is the absolute gold standard for Southern brewing. This was one of my first ever craft beers, and Sweetwater just makes a good product. They always have. I like every beer that they make. This is excellent. It's a perfect pale ale for sitting outside on any kind of day, really. But, you know, a nice fall day is perfect for it. Taking a sip there. All of their bottles, all their artwork is fishing themed. So apparently they're fisher people.
Fisher folk?
Fisher folk. Yeah.
Not
exactly.
fish folk, which is a different thing entirely.
Yes, I think that's like crab people.
Yeah, crab.
So yeah, they
crab.
They very much want you to drink these beers while doing something outdoorsy.
Nope.
I'm not. I'm gonna sit right here in my underwear and drink it.
Are you really in your underwear?
Yes. This gets a 10 out of 10 overall. I love this beer. I recommend anybody trying them. If you don't know Sweetwater, they're pretty big, pretty famous. Good beer, at least in the Southeast, I know they are. So, try 420 Extra Pale Ale. It's the green one. They're color-coded for the most part. They are.
Oh,
they have yellow IPA, blue for their blueberry, and yeah.
I was gonna say, I had a roommate in college that drank the blue one, and it's got blueberry in it, and
and it's fantastic, and I want to have it.
I never
soon,
got to try that one, but
I don't know if you'll get to.
You know,
excuse me.
That whole being allergic to the stupidest fruit on earth, but whatever.
Blueberries are fantastic. You shut your mouth.
Fine.
All right, our liquor for the night is Beauregard Dixie Southern Vodka.
Ooh.
Bottled by Grain and Barrel Spirits in North Charleston, South Carolina. 40% alcohol by volume. Let's read the bottle. Praised in the field, admired in the ballroom, and loved in the bedroom. Beauregard Dixie, man amongst boys.
Gross.
Yeah. Real fucking gross. But the vodka's good.
The vodka is good, and I like the bottle. It's really pretty, but that little tagline makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, y'all look at the pictures. We're also going to put up a video of the inside of the bottle, because they're one of those that have artwork on the inside of their label, and it's really cool. It's a nice little old-timey bar scene.
Yeah, it's really neat, and I first saw them on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure they follow us, which is kind of cool, but I totally had to pay for the liquor, so get on that, Dixie.
Yeah, besides that, nice to hear from you. What I have to say about it, this is light and nondescript. It doesn't overpower anything in a cocktail. It's really, really smooth. It's just a good middle-of-the-road vodka for me. It's not spectacular, but it's most definitely not bad. It's a pretty good vodka. Yeah,
it's just a plain, unflavored, super filtered, nice vodka.
Yeah, and I give it a 7 out of 10 on ice by itself. Pretty good. Pretty alright just by itself with some ice. I give it a 7.5 out of 10 with a vodka cranberry. Also had a dash of club soda in there. Leah has a Moscow Mule with White's Elixir's Moscow Mule mix, and she gave it a 7.5 out of 10 as well.
Yep.
So we are going with a 7.5 out of 10 overall. That's all the alcohols we have for the night.
Huzzah.
Let's get into some announcements.
Announcements.
What do you say, Leah?
I say announcements. I don't know what you want from me.
Well, that's perfect. First announcement. I've decided that on my little laptop tablet computer, I looked up a soundboard, and now we have sound effects.
Y'all, I'm very exasperated, and he... Yeah, like that.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it a lot, I promise. But
he's lying to you.
I found a soundboard, so...
If I have to rip that thing from his cold, dead hands, I will. Stop.
I'm so excited. But it's going to come in perfect for our first announcement here.
So what's our announcement?
We have a brand new series that we're going to announce. Let me just go ahead and do this. All right, and the name of it is... I'm sorry. We can't do that. Tailgate Tales, right? Is that what we're doing?
Yes, Tailgate Tales.
Tailgate Tales. What we're doing, since it's football season right around the corner, we are going to tell stories from each individual SEC school, starting on the first Saturday of football season, which is September 1st. Now, there are 14 SEC schools, so... the regular season is only 13 weeks long. What are we going to do?
Oh, no.
Well, we're going to have a special in that 13th week because we live in Alabama. We're going to do our 13th week as an Iron Bowl special. We're going to do both Auburn and Alabama that week.
Ooh.
Yeah. That series will be released on Saturday mornings, probably about 10 o'clock. In the morning is when I'm going to schedule them to release.
So you can listen to us while you tailgate and drink all your beer.
You can tailgate before the games unless you have one of those 11:30 start times. Sorry about that, but...
not my fault.
A couple things about that. We have to expand a little and lose a little. Because the SEC doesn't have anyone in North Carolina or West Virginia or Washington, D.C., but they do have Missouri.
Which is weird. I still contest that that's not the South, but welcome,
it's not
Missouri.
That weird.
I have a story just for you.
It's not that weird, but we're going to do one school per week. We're going to hope for about 30 minutes at a time per episode, but there'll be one per week, and a different SEC school will be featured every week except for the last week when we're going to do Auburn and Alabama together.
And if someone makes it to the championship... girl, I'm going to go ahead and do them an extra story. Yeah. It'll be great.
Well, yeah, that was something we talked about. We'll probably do another group episode for the SEC Championship. So we'll do 2 more stories, one for each of the schools that next week. And then any playoff games. We're not going to do bowl games because just about every SEC team will be in a bowl game. But
it's too much.
If they get in the playoffs, we'll probably do another one for each week that they survive in the playoffs, which will be over in January. So... that's a ways away.
And for those of you that aren't sports ball fans like me,
we almost called it Sports Ball Saturdays before I had to step in.
Sorry, I don't like football. I know that's sacrilegious here, but I just don't get it. But these stories aren't specifically about football or anything like that. It's just weird, creepy things that have happened at the school or around the school or whatever.
They might involve football, in the football program, but it'll be something.
If it involves it, it's going to be something creepy and weird specifically about that. Like, it's not necessarily like you don't have to know about sports ball to enjoy our extra episodes.
Right.
And this is just something fun that we can do every year because it happens every year.
Yeah. Huzzah. This will be seasonal and we'll try to do it every year as long as we keep going.
Yep.
And this is the part where I was talking last week about how we want to hear from y'all. So if any of y'all attended or just know of anything at one of these SEC schools, send us something. We might talk about it.
It would be cool.
Because we have some stuff ready, but nothing's set in stone. Yeah. So, I think the first one, do we want to reveal who the first one will be on September 1st? No? We're going to keep it in suspense?
Suspense. Obviously, it's not going to be Alabama or Auburn because that's going to be our last episode. So, sorry, Alabama folk. You're going to wait, but it's going to be good, I promise.
That's what we'll do tonight at 11. You have to stick around. Is your football killing you from the inside out?
Yes.
Probably.
Always.
Well, see, I am a sports and football fan. Leah's not, so she's just going to have to deal, I guess.
Sorry.
And tell the story. But, the stories, again, aren't about football. They're just going to be centric to the SEC schools.
Yep.
And we're going to release those one per week, right?
Yes.
On Saturdays, yeah.
One
that's
a week
what we're
on
talking
Saturdays.
about.
And it's going to be fun, and it's going to be awesome. So tell your friends that like football.
And they'll come from right here. You don't got to look for anything else. They'll be released on Southern Spirits Podcast. So, well, we hope y'all like that announcement. What's next, Leah?
I think we should go to listener mail.
We have listener mail?
We have listener mail.
Woo! Listener mail. It's jackpot sound. Sorry. I'm not going to do it a lot, I swear.
He's lying to you.
I'm probably going to do it a lot. A little laser.
Please, if you want to complain about this, officially, southernspiritspodcast@gmail.com. Please address your...
or tweet at me.
Yeah, or tweet at him Stop!
It's a mosquito.
Yeah, annoying like a mosquito.
That's
I
very
get
funny.
it. All right, well, so listener mail. We got not one, but two postcards from our awesome listener and friend, Becky M.
Hey.
She sent us a really cool postcard from the Stanley Hotel, which...
Thank you, Becky.
Holy paranormal awesome, Batman. I can't believe that you got to go. That's really cool. Kind of jealous. And then she also sent us this really cute card with a chihuahua on the front that was sort of a get well soon card because I was very, 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 very sick.
Yeah, that was sweet of her.
Over the last little while. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
Mm-hmm. It was very nice of her.
I think so. Also the cards. Super adorable. Good job. Where are you going?
I'm getting a beer.
Well, Mitch is gone to get a beer.
Sorry.
And while he's gone...
I didn't bring any.
Do what?
No, alright, I got him. I'm back.
Wow.
Sorry, I just didn't... I always bring beer to the table, and I didn't this time for some really freaking stupid reason, and I'm sorry, and I deserve this.
Mitchell.
Oh, God, I'm so happy. I'm sorry.
If anybody just needs to know, if Mitch shows up murdered in his sleep, you know what happened. It was those damn sound effects. Anyway, thanks for those cards. And if anyone wants to send cards, I love cards. Cards make my day. They're the best thing ever. And I'm going to post those cards that Becky sent to us on Instagram so everybody can enjoy the coolness that is the cute little chihuahua and the Stanley Hotel. So yeah, that was listener mail. Pretty pumped about it.
That was good listener mail.
It was.
We have a couple other requests for stickers, but
yeah, we got
that was pretty much
requests for stickers, some new reviews. Someone rated us 2 stars. That was really weird.
I think that's a really old one.
Is it?
I think so, but I'm not
like,
sure.
If you're gonna rate someone and like trash them, like you go straight 1 star, right? But 2, like what? Stop. But like, what makes people think, oh, you're not 1 star worthy, but 2 stars?
Well, okay,
Yeah.
we're not trash, which I'm happy with.
We're trash adjacent. I'm gonna put that on a T-shirt.
Oh God, we should do that
Southern
one.
Spirits Podcast.
Trash
We're not
adjacent.
trash. We're trash adjacent.
Just trash adjacent and not traditionally attractive.
Which was a great T-shirt suggestion from our Facebook group. So if you're not on there, you should probably join because it's funny.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree.
All right, so that was listener mail again. So do you want to go on to funny place names?
I'm ready.
All right.
Yay.
This week we're going back to West Virginia because West Virginia has great names.
Do they?
They do.
All right.
And we're going to Paw Paw, West Virginia.
Paw Paw?
Paw Paw.
Paw Paw.
Paw Paw.
All right.
So Paw Paw is a town in Morgan County, West Virginia. It's at like sort of the top right in that weird little tail-shaped thing that comes off the side
that
of
weird
it.
little tail-shaped thing.
You know what I'm talking about?
Leah.
What?
That's a tumor, and West Virginia is very self-conscious of it.
It's not a tumor.
It is a West Virginia tumor.
Oh, bless. Anyway, so basically, the town is small. It's known for the Paw Paw Tunnel, which, okay, whatever. But Paw Paw is named, and this is why I picked it, after the Paw Paw fruit. You know the Paw Paw tree?
No, I really don't. I
You don't know what
that
a
is.
Paw Paw is? So a Paw Paw is kind of like a little weird fruit thing. It's a yellowish green.
It kind of hangs off like a tumor.
Thanks. Oh, here, I'll tell you. It's a small deciduous tree native to the eastern United States and Canada, producing a large yellowish green to brown fruit.
Well, that's nice.
But my favorite thing that it says is these are like common names of it. So it could be Pawpaw, 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 Common Pawpaw, Quaker's Delight, or my favorite, Hillbilly Mango.
Those are all the same.
Yeah, they're spelled different though.
You didn't say that. You just read them all. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato.
I'm sorry, I realize now that it doesn't make sense.
What are you? You're just reading them.
Okay, can we stop focusing on the paw and Bring it back
How many
in.
different names were there? Because it sounded like you just said Paw Paw.
1, 2,
Repeatedly.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
And
They're
then
all Paw Paw.
But then there's the Hillbilly Mango, which I think is what they should call their town. Like,
I
forget
agree.
Paw Paw. Let's be Hillbilly Mango, West Virginia.
I'd take it.
I think it's funny.
Deal. Well, I like that one.
Mitchell. If I have to take that away from you, I will.
No, you will not. I'm so happy.
Well, enough about pawpaws. Are you ready
you.
for your first story of the night?
Yeah, I sure am. Hope everybody else is ready.
All right, y'all.
right.
Let's get ready for...
We're gonna whisper from now on.
So exciting. No, I'm not going to whisper. I'm sorry. I'm not a whisperer. Tonight, for our first story, we are going to Edisto Beach, South Carolina.
Okay.
I think it's Edisto. It might be Edisto. I couldn't be bothered to fucking get Google to pronounce it for me. I'm sorry.
All right.
So, anyway.
It's pronounced Paw Paw.
No, I'm going to call it Edisto.
Okay.
Edisto Beach, South Carolina. So, this all takes place at the Edisto Island Presbyterian Church. And this is the story of Julia Laguerre.
Okay. Is it Leger, maybe?
Maybe Ligari? I don't know.
Legare. It's probably pronounced Leger.
Legare?
I don't know.
I'm going to call it Laguerre because I'm trash.
They wouldn't pronounce that
No,
either?
excuse me. I'm trash adjacent.
Trash adjacent. You are not what we would call conventionally intelligent.
Intelligent
funny.
adjacent. Anyway.
Oh, that was really funny.
All right, so
I can't get enough of this. I'm going to have to stop. I'm sorry, go.
all right, so back in sort of like 1850-ish, Julia Laguerre and her family were visiting on the island. And Julia was a young child, and I never found out how old she actually was because no one ever said. But she was a young kid, and she visited the island, and she became very sick, and she slipped into a coma.
Oh, no.
Which is terrible in the best of times, but, 1850, no hospitals, stuck on an island, kid with a coma, kind of sucks.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting out of that one.
No. And so her family was like, oh shit, this sucks. And they were waiting on her to wake up like you would if someone slipped into a coma. They took care of her. They were trying to make sure that everything was good and she was comfortable. And they were, pretty confident that she was going to wake back up. She didn't wake back up.
Of course she
And
didn't.
so her family physician declared the little girl to be dead. So they dressed the child for the funeral in a pretty little white dress.
I have a feeling I know what's coming.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So they dressed her for a funeral, and they laid her out. They had the wake. They had the funeral. Now, it's really hot in the South. We've told you that before. And this was before embalming was a widespread practice.
Right.
So to preserve the body before she was buried, basically they just buried him as soon as they could. There was no real waiting around because that would mean the body would decompose at a very rapid pace. So they basically, the day she was declared dead, they went ahead and prepared the body, and the next day they had her funeral. So she was buried that next day. All of her family came and all of that stuff like normal. Well, her body was taken from the church, the Presbyterian church, and interred at the family's mausoleum there on the church grounds. Well, she was placed inside the crypt, and the marble door was closed.
I
They
totally
locked
know where
it
this is going.
like you would a normal mausoleum. And, it was just sort of like the end. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks. They mourned. It's awful, but, she had a nice resting place, a beautiful coffin for the child, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well,
I know
Julia's
what's
family
happening.
went on with their lives as best they could. They lost a kid and it sucked, but time heals wounds, and they remembered her life very sweetly and all of that. Well, a few years later, another person died, so they had to open the mausoleum again to bury that person. The mausoleum was opened after shot in the dark. How many years?
I had it ready. I'm sorry.
I'm very upset with you
That
right
was
now.
the shot in the dark noise.
Oh.
Okay, all right.
Good to
Shot in
know.
the how many years? Go ahead.
I'm going to limit you to like 5 sound effects every... You have to
can't do
pick.
that.
You have to ration this shit.
Nope.
All right, so how many years did it take for them to reopen the mausoleum? Was it A, 10 years? Was it B, 15 years? Or was it C, 20 years?
Excuse me. I'm going to go with C, 20.
You are wrong. It was B, 15 years.
Man.
Are you ready to take a shot?
Yeah.
Mitch,
I had to play my sound effect for me
that
getting
is
it wrong.
the most annoying thing.
Sorry. I hope it's not too loud. I'll have to remix them if it is. But I don't know how to do that, so...
Let's hope they're not too loud. Or you
I'll
could
have to
just
remix
not...
them or delete the episode. Those are the two options.
I really like these stories, so...
Okay. Well, we can
Stop
tell
fucking
them again.
around.
We can tell them again. All right, well... Oh, that reminds me of something. I realized recently that I breathe very heavily through my mouth.
We have a mouth breather.
I'm trying my best to breathe through my nose on when we record. Like that, instead of
Stop being creepy.
and wheezing, you know, and just fucking...
Stop!
I love this sound
This
effect
is
for it.
only funny for you.
Yeah, I know. What did we talk about last week?
That you're a narcissist that only
No.
likes to amuse yourself.
No, that's not what narcissism is. It's close, though. It's narcissism adjacent.
Narcissism light.
It's not what we would call conventional narcissism. All right, let me take this shot, okay? Oh, not bad. Not bad. I did chase it very quickly, though, so keep that in mind for when you have to take one next time.
Alrighty.
And then I get to play myself this noise instead.
Mitchell, don't touch... You have to earn that one.
I'm sorry. Oh, God, that doesn't feel good. All right.
All right.
One shot down.
So, like I said before, it was 15 years until they had to... Woo! Sorry.
Uh-oh, somebody's got some burpees.
Hiccups. So it was 15 years until they had to open the family mausoleum again. Well, turns out when they opened the mausoleum 15 years later, they made a horrifying discovery.
Obviously, I knew where this was going.
Everybody did. Julia's body was found crumpled at the foot of the mausoleum door.
Ugh.
Because she had been buried alive.
Of course she had.
So the thought is that her, whatever sickness, illness she had, that her respiratory and heart rates had sort of dropped so low that they were kind of undetectable at that time. Because let's remember, there weren't heart monitors. There was very,
Yep.
the medical technology on a remote island like that would be a little shitty, to say the least.
Yep.
So, I mean, buried alive was a lot more of a thing then. And so, yeah, the family's physician declared her dead. There was no real response to her. And anyway, she was buried that day, and she was only in a coma, apparently, and not actually dead.
Yep.
So,
We've had one of these before,
yep.
and it's upsetting.
So this sort of led to the realization that she had woken up in this mausoleum, was obviously terrified because she was a little kid. The marble door was locked and so heavy that a small child could not have opened it regardless of. So she probably died terrified of, hunger and thirst.
How old was she?
I could never find an actual age for her, but they keep calling her a young child, so I would say 6 or under.
Oh, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that mausoleums aren't, inspected more often. You know what I mean?
Well,
maybe they are now, but I mean, back then, why would they not be when these things happen? Like in Victorian era, they were putting bells on the
grave bells, yeah,
grave bells down into the caskets and stuff, so you knew that this was possible.
I guess, but anyway, so they were upset, obviously, and they decided, let's have another funeral for her.
Yeah, that'll fix it.
Because she's really dead this time.
Wow.
So they re-entombed the child, put her back where she was supposed to go. She didn't get back up this time.
No. Well, it would have been really weird if she had, though.
Well, anyway.
Think about how weird that would have been.
Yeah, so they buried the girl again. They closed the door again. They secured it, all that. Well, the girl's family was still sort of grieving over that awful, like, how bad would you feel if that happened?
Pretty darn.
Like, you would just be fucking devastated.
Yeah.
And so, they went back to the cemetery to sort of visit and, like they were visiting the grave again, but the door was open.
Oh, God. Again?
Now, they thought that the door had not been properly closed when they had that second funeral. So they were like, fine, whatever. They went back, had the door shut, and they went away again. Well, a few weeks later, one of the preachers at the church saw that the door was open again and ordered that someone go close it. Well, this happened again.
This is ridiculous.
And again. And so they ended up like trying to chain this thing closed. They put unbreakable locks to try to keep it closed. But eventually, after weeks or months or whatever, they would always break and the door would be opened again.
Oh, God.
And so about 50 years ago...
50?
Yeah.
Okay.
They put a door on the mausoleum that, and I don't know what it looked like, and this is just a quote from what I was reading from the tourism website for Edisto Beach. So maybe it's right, maybe it's complete bullshit. I don't know. It's a good story. Anyway.
All right.
So they put on a door that could, and this is a quote, only be removed by industrial heavy machinery. So
Wouldn't a marble door suffice?
I would think, but like maybe it's like a heavy steel door or something. I don't know, but
maybe is it welded shut?
Maybe, but apparently that door was also opened. So people.
I have something for this. The creaky door. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thanks. So basically, the people just stopped trying to close the door, and to this day, the original door is still there, but it's broken at the foot of the tomb, and it's just an open tomb. There's no door on that mausoleum, and
that's upsetting.
Yep.
How many other people are in there?
Several, I would assume, because it's a family mausoleum.
Is it a family? I didn't know if it was like a,
so,
put your dead here.
But now that there's no door on that mausoleum, basically Julie is cool. They don't see her ghost anymore.
Julia Coolia?
But basically they just think she's like chill and cool now that like there's no door, like because if they try to put a door on it, she's like, oh hell no, and she breaks the door.
Yeah, so she's fine as long as she's not closed up.
Like she's at peace and she's chill as long as she's not scared of being fucking closed in there again, because that's terrifying.
Yeah, it is if you're alive.
Well, it's also terrifying all the time. Like,
is it?
Yeah.
Even if you're dead?
Well, I don't know. I've never been dead, but I would assume.
You haven't tried it. How do you know?
Well. But anyway, people still say that they get a weird feeling around that mausoleum. People say that they see orbs in their cameras around that place. They, sort of feel like a peace as long as that door is not shut. So basically, don't fucking shut the door and she'll leave you alone.
Well, good for her, I guess. I still want to know how old she was, because, you know, if she matured enough to be like a teenager, you know, that's when you slap her and say you need to grow up. Stop being so childish.
Because they locked her in a mausoleum and killed her.
Yeah.
Rude.
I know, but I mean, I'm just saying, you know.
No, I don't know.
Look, we can't be paying all these energy bills. Leave the door closed.
How are you paying energy bills in a marble mausoleum?
I'm sure there's air conditioning.
No.
Is there not?
No.
Well, why are the bodies not going to be kept comfortable? That's upsetting.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
I don't know, but here's this.
Stop! Oh my god.
I am so happy that I found this app.
I promise you, I will destroy that thing as soon as possible, y'all. I apologize. I'm sorry my husband is a big child. But he'll get bored of his toy eventually.
Hey, I'd leave the door closed on the fucking mausoleum. I know that.
Because you're a dick.
Yeah. No, I mean, if I was in there and she kept opening it and everything, I would get up and be like, close the fucking door.
Like her dad's buried there too.
Yeah.
He's just like, you don't pay the bills in this mausoleum.
Exactly.
You keep the fucking door closed.
That's what I was saying. What a bad child. There are too many gnats. The flies will get in, and the coyotes.
The coyotes?
The coyotes. I saw a post on what's happening in Hartselle recently that there are coyotes roaming around, like, a lot in Hartselle right now. So we need to get Steve in. I think Steve could fight off a coyote. He's a tough little kitten.
We used to have coyotes back there in that back corner of our pasture, but we haven't seen them in a long time.
I thought you had wolves. Didn't you tell me you had wolves at one point?
Coyotes.
But, like, it got so cold. No, wolves could stand cold. Coyotes can't.
I don't think there are wolves around here.
Yeah.
Those are just coyotes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was being stupid.
What?
But, you know,
Damn it, Mitchell.
It had a wolf on it. There's also a wolf whistle.
Stop.
That's not the same thing.
Okay, Mitchell.
Oh God, y'all! Please tell me if the soundboard is too much. If I get a consensus vote that get rid of the fucking sound effects, I will get rid of them.
We, the people of the Southern Spirits podcast, in order to form a more perfect podcast, do hereby request that you stop with the fucking sound effects.
In order for a more perfect podcast.
Stop.
Some bees.
Bees. Oh, I feel like that's our first
Nicolas Cage
reference in forever.
I didn't even think about that before I hit the button. Not the bees! Oh God, all of us had a problem there. I just wrecked the computer. Alright, we're good. Alright, the story one done?
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
It was exciting, except for the whole small child dying thing.
Yeah, that, that part is...
Bummer.
Exactly. We don't need to do that again.
Sorry.
Please.
But you know what is fun?
What?
Other podcasts.
Oh,
well,
other ones?
ours is good. Ours is great.
fine.
Ours is fantastic. You should listen to ours first always. But
Not on myth.
No. What?
The thing from last week. Forget it. Don't worry about it. Just don't be on meth and listen to the podcast. Because then you might
that
start
was
seeing
a weird drug
things.
PSA from Mitchell.
Well, as most of y'all know, we've been swapping promos with the Dead Time Stories podcast for a few weeks now. We're not going to play a promo this week just because we've played them for the last few weeks, and I think it's just better to talk about them.
Woo.
They've been very generous to us, very nice with their time, and we just enjoy their content, so please go check them out. Like we said last week, you will hear them talk about us and how they used to be in the South, and now they're not. But that's okay. We won't hold that against them. They still enjoy the show. They enjoy the alcohol we drink. and we enjoy their show quite a bit. So try them out.
And I am so self-conscious about saying I apologize now because they brought it up. And now that I know that I say it all the time, I'm trying not to say it. Yeah. But I still say it. And
we apologize
thanks for that,
saying
y'all.
I apologize
Thanks
so much.
So much.
But no, it's fine. As long as people enjoy it, that's fine. So yeah, there's that. And we also do have a promo from a brand new friend.
Huzzah, making new friends.
Yeah, this is from the Golden Ghouls podcast. This is 3 ladies that talk about ghosts and paranormal stuff. Kind of like we do, except we mix it up a little more, and we're not 3 ladies. But, you know.
I'm only one lady.
I'm like
You're like a quarter of a lady.
I'm like 4/7 lady. So
You're just mostly tits.
Oh God, that is the worst thing I've ever heard. Just fucking, you whore. Okay, sorry about your promo, Golden Ghouls, but this will stay in because Leah needs to learn her lesson.
I'm sorry, y'all.
But no, I've listened to their most recent episode. I like what they do quite a bit. Think that y'all will too. So check out the Golden Ghouls podcast.
Hey ghouls and guys, do you like to get spooky and stay spooky? Then check out our podcast, The Golden Ghouls. Each week we talk about our favorite things, ghosts and the paranormal. Sound like a good time? Then give us a listen on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Goodbye.
Woo! Listen to those golden girls. Ghouls?
Ghouls. You just heard that their name was Golden Ghouls. Listen to them.
I've been drinking. Shut up.
All right.
Thanks, y'all. All right, so we're going to go to our second story of the night.
Story number 2.
Story number 2 is going to take us back to Sweet Home Alabama.
Woo! We're doing Alabama. It's the first time in a long time.
That's when you're supposed to say, roll, tide, roll.
I'm not going to do that.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Anyway, I really hate that song. Ugh.
A lot of people do.
Anyway, so we're doing something that I never heard of before. I started doing research for this podcast, and it's really weird, and it's really cool, and I'm kind of pumped about it.
Okay. What is it?
The Simsites cult and Choctaw County War.
That's a thing? There was a cult in Choctaw County?
Yeah.
And it was a video game, I'm guessing? Because it was The Sims.
No, but that does make it very difficult to research. BT dubs.
Yeah, you can't just type in Sims cult because lots of fucking video game
it's
cults.
The Simsite cult.
Okay.
And it was Choctaw County, Alabama.
Right.
So, let's get this started because it's pretty cool.
All right, please.
Only terrifying. Anyway, so there is this dude, and his name was Robert Bruce Sims, and he was born in 1839. And he and his family lived on a farm in Choctaw County. Where's Choctaw County, Mitchell?
I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, me neither.
There are, I think, 67 counties in Alabama,
There's
and I
a shit
think
ton
I've
of counties.
been to 4 of them.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Because
Anyway.
there's an interstate that runs down the middle of Alabama, I-65. Anything off of that is literally just farmland.
Yeah.
So there's no point
We
in
don't go
going
to the
up
edges
there.
very often. We just drive straight through the middle.
Yeah, there's not much. I mean, there's a highway that goes to Atlanta, 85, but
Yeah.
besides that, it's just farmland.
Yeah, so, Choctaw County, question mark? But anyway.
Yeah.
So he
It's in
lived,
Alabama. Good
yes. So he lived on a farm in Choctaw County, and he was a Confederate veteran. He fought with the 22nd Alabama Infantry, and he was actually injured and captured by the Union soldiers during the Civil War, and he was imprisoned at Camp Morton in Indiana. But he survived the war, and he returned home, and he resumed farming in the Womack Hill community, which I don't know if that's still there or not, but I would assume it is. The Womack Hill community in Choctaw County. And at that point in time, after the war was over, he was a farmer, but he also served as a county road surveyor. which
Yay.
is a random fact that you needed to know for some
Apparently
reason.
I did. Shot in the dark. Was he a county road surveyor?
No, he was. He was.
Okay.
We'll get to the shot in the dark later. It's one of my favorite shots in the dark.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, all right. So his family attended the local Methodist church, Womack Hill Methodist Church, to be in fact. And he was,
Excuse me.
a church-going dude pretty regularly, but Sims got a little weird and started having beliefs that are a little bit different from standard Methodist theology. And he kind of sort of at odds with like the local pastors and stuff.
What does that mean?
Like he got a little out there, crazy cuckoo banana pants, and the Methodists were like, "Oh, that's weird, bro." But that's about it.
Well,
But anyway, at some point in time, Mr. Sims grew angry and upset with the United States court system as well, because it insisted on like people swearing oaths, and he like thought that violated God's law.
he was the original sovereign citizen. Have you ever seen those videos on YouTube?
What?
Sovereign citizen videos where they're like, it's mostly people protesting traffic tickets. You'd have to watch them if you know. It's like, I wasn't driving, I was traveling along a road in a motor vehicle that I owned, so you cannot give me a ticket. The hoops these people jump through, it's hilarious. You've got to watch these.
Yeah, I feel like just from what you said that this guy totally would have fit in with those assholes.
Absolutely. And they always lose. Every single time. They lose every single court case. All the time. It's fun. You should watch those videos.
Anyway, so here is a quote from a local paper in the time period in quotations about that. It says, "One of this sect was called to serve," and the sect is him and his friends and followers that will come about. Anyway, quote, "One of this sect was called to serve on the jury in the United States court here today. He refused to take an oath because of the biblical prohibition and was permitted to affirm. Then he announced that he would never convict anyone because the Bible says, 'Judge not.'" So he was basically like, fuck jury duty. Not gonna do it, bitch, because the Bible says, "Judge not, lest ye shall be judged." So he was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do it, bro."
That's a great excuse of getting out of jury duty. Hey,
I was gonna say,
the Bible says, "Judge not."
that is totally what I'm gonna do next time I get jury duty.
I've never had jury duty.
You haven't? I have.
Never been called for jury duty. Like, did you have to go? You had to go. Did you get on a trial?
I was one away from being like.
Were you the alternate, or were you one away from the alternate?
I was the alternate, and I never had to go in, so it was fine.
Awesome.
I sat and read my Neil Gaiman book and just like chilled. It was great, but I mean, I was unemployed at the time, so it's not like I had a lot to do.
Yeah. I thought you had to be employed to do jury duty. I guess not. You just have to be
registered
voter.
to vote and over 18.
Yeah. Well,
Which, I mean, to be registered to vote, you have
all
to be
that
18.
is together.
Same thing.
I've never been called. I probably will be now that I've said it.
Yeah.
But, I never
I've
have.
had jury duty the one time, and like I said, I was unemployed, so it just gave me something to do. But
that's fun.
The judge actually talked to me.
Oh, that's sweet. Is it like talking to the pilot? Getting to go to the cockpit?
I had more to say.
I had to go to the judge's chambers. He called me in.
They ask you, like, all of the trials on the docket were like theft and drugs and stuff like that, real low-level stuff. And
you told him, "No, I want a rape case. God damn it."
No.
I better make my time worth it.
No, they were asking questions for jury selection about, who's ever been robbed or whatever, who's ever had something stolen from them. And of course, when I was living in New York, I got pickpocketed. So they were like, who's ever been robbed or whatever, and I had to raise my hand, and he went to every God, it takes so long for jury selection. So every person that's there has to raise their hand if they've ever had something taken away from them. So I was like, yeah, I was living in New York. I had my wallet stolen on the subway. And he's like, really? Why were you living in New York? And I was like, oh, I was interning for college. And instead of just leaving it at that, he was like, where were you interning? And I was like, oh, I was interning with the Jim Henson Company. And he was like, the Jim Henson Company? That's really cool. And I was like, yeah, it was great. He was like, what were you doing there? And I was like, oh, I was working on Sesame Street. He was like, Sesame Street? I fucking love Sesame Street.
He said that?
He said,
I fucking love Sesame Street.
No, he was like, oh, that's really cool. The Muppets are great. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, this is totally not what we're supposed to be talking about.
You don't understand. That's the most exciting point of his day. Most of his day is spent like this.
Stop it, Mitchell.
Oh, I'm so happy I have the soundboard.
But yeah,
free.
that was my one experience of being in jury duty. But they were also talking about, like, after they found out that I was related to someone who got the death penalty, they immediately struck me from the jury. And
Oh, yeah, you are. We'll tell that story eventually. We won't... Let's not involve that yet.
No.
That'll be a story maybe at some point for you.
Yeah, so like I said, that's why I was immediately struck from the jury. And anytime my mom got jury duty, she was immediately struck from that too for the same reason. But
because
really
it was her
weird,
cousin.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
But what's really weird, it was my grandfather's nephew, and he was on the grand jury. Like,
your grandfather was?
Yeah, Papa's been on the grand jury for the state of Alabama.
After the trial and everything of your cousin?
Yeah, he was on the grand jury like a few years ago. So, like I said, maybe that just didn't come up. But,
teaser. We'll tell Leah's story eventually, maybe.
I don't know about that.
Maybe
but anyway. So yeah, that was my jury duty story.
Yay.
Back to the other thing.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
we're talking about
we still
a cult.
have the rest of a story today.
Oh yeah, we're only through like the first 2 paragraphs.
Jesus Christ. Ugh.
Sorry about that sidebar, y'all. Sorry. So in 1877, like I said before, he was regularly attending that Womack Hill Methodist Church. But like I said, he started getting weird ideas and beliefs, and he was becoming a very divergent type of believer. And one Sunday, he suddenly proclaimed that the church was abusing the gospel and that he caused such a scene that he was convicted of disturbing a church service, which was in fact a crime at the time. And he was fined, shot in the dark.
Uh-oh.
How much was he fined for disturbing a church service?
Okay, go ahead.
So remember, this is 1877.
Yeah.
How much was he fined? Was it A, $75? Was it B, $55? Or was it C, $35?
I'm gonna go with C, $35.
It was $75.
Damn it. Shit. I have to take another shot.
I'll take a shot with you.
You don't have
I
to.
want to.
It's kind of rough.
I want to try that vodka by itself.
Okay. You can just try it on ice if you want to.
No.
All right.
Vodka on ice is not a thing that anybody does.
Take that and I'll pass it to you in a minute. Hold on. Actually, a lot of people drink vodka on ice. A lot of people drink vodka with just a splash of soda, too. Like soda water.
They're wrong.
I'm just letting you know that it happens.
Great. They're still wrong.
Excuse me.
Can you burp a little more delicately?
No. Also, we have a sound effect.
You don't need that. You provide your own.
I'm just saying it's there.
So unuseful.
Oh, it's useful. Be ready to wash that down, because it can probably get rough.
I've only got vodka to wash down the vodka.
You want something else?
No, I'll be fine.
You sure? You can get rough on that back end.
All right, Mr. Beauregard, let's take this.
Yeah. In the bedroom, whatever it was earlier. I don't remember. I don't remember what I read.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it burns on the back. And that's what she said. Whew.
It tastes really good and crisp and like non-distinct, and then it burns.
Yeah, that's the only time that it burns is the shot.
It's the very end.
Everything else, like just sipping it on ice, it's really
fine.
good. Sipping it in a cocktail, fantastic.
But I mean, like, of the
you know.
vodka shots that we've taken, that's not bad.
No, it's pretty all right.
It's not like heinous or anything. I approve.
I agree. It's
All right.
pretty all right.
Anyway, so $75.
That's a lot of freaking money.
Yeah,
Just for
in
disrupting a
1877
church
for
service?
disturbing a church
Sorry.
service, it was $75.
We're almost back to that. Like, we're getting there. Jeff Sessions will make sure you get a
Hey.
fine soon.
That's the thing, though. I go to church, and I'm really bad at sneezing. And when I sneeze, it's real loud as hell. So if I had to
$75
give $75 every time I disturbed a church service, I'd
Yeah. Leah's one of
be
those
dead.
multiple sneezers, too. Like, she can sneeze 5 or 6 at a time.
or 12.
And so every time the preacher's like,
He's not.
I love this soundboard. You have no idea.
Oh, we have an idea.
You don't get it.
Anyway, so Sims was pretty fed up with those Methodists at that point. So he became his own church, and he preached a strict adherence to the Old Testament. And
The Old Testament's the bad testament.
I know, right?
There's so
not
much
the
like
good
fire and
Testament.
brimstone and shit in there. There's no forgiveness shit in that one.
Yeah, I prefer the New Testament God, but whatevs. So he also observed the Sabbath on a Saturday because
Oh, we can't have that. What is that called? Is that a Seventh-day Adventist? Is that right?
well, I mean, Seventh-day Adventists are a very specific type of like Christian, like it's a Christian sect of its own.
Yeah.
So no, he's not a Seventh-day Adventist. It's a completely different thing.
Okay.
But they also, yes,
But I
observe
thought they did the
Sabbath.
yeah.
They do. They observe the Sabbath on a Saturday and not a Sunday
Okay.
because it's the seventh day and not the.
Well, depending on how your calendar shakes out.
I
You know.
legit don't care. Like, set aside a day for Jesus, and that's you and Jesus' day, and that's your Sabbath.
you want.
Rock on.
You can
or
have
if you don't,
and
that's
Spaghetti
fine.
Monsters Day.
Have a you and Baphomet day. It's not my business. You do you.
Can I have a me and my testicles day? Just
I think that's every day,
yeah,
sweetie.
that's most days. But
I think that's just every
can
day.
I have a day devoted to it so I don't have to do it a little bit every day? And
I
just
mean,
like
if you-
scratch them and moisturize and
If you want to set aside a scrotum day, sweetie, I'm not going to be opposed.
I propose a new calendar.
And on the seventh day, we scrotum.
Because, you know, like the Earth, like we have leap year, but every 100 years we don't have leap year because of how the Earth rotates. So
Is that a thing for real?
Yes, that is an actual thing. Every 4th year we have leap year.
Yeah.
But every 100th year we do not have a leap year.
I did not know that.
Yes, that's
Are you
accurate.
bullshitting
No,
me?
I've heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about this.
Oh, I like Neil.
That's where I heard it, actually. But look, I'm not gonna propose every 100 years as scrotum day, but maybe like every leap year, and even in the 100th year we still have the scrotum day, you know. But yeah, it's because of how the Earth rotates that every 100th year you are actually gaining too much of a day, so you take it back.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, the way that the Earth rotates, it doesn't actually work out mathematically. So every 100th year, you take a day off. You don't have the 29th day of February every 100th year. That's what Neil deGrasse Tyson told me.
I like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Can we give him a hug?
I mean,
Is that a thing?
That's as far as we're going. We're not celebrating Scrotum Day with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
But we could.
No, you could.
Hey, Neil, if you're listening.
You know what? I'd do it. You're
Scrotum
right.
day.
You're right. Fuck it. I'd do it. I don't care.
Anyway, where were we? Oh, Saturdays on the Sabbath. Okay.
Scrotum
fine.
Day.
No. So, according to all of his followers and what's been passed down verbally, Mr. Sam's ability to remember and quote the Bible and biblical passages was insane. Like, he had a great recall for scripture, and he would like show off, and I swear I feel that vodka. Oh, boy.
You fucked up. You're still not quite recovered from, like, you're not drinking for 3 weeks from shingles and everything.
No. I haven't had, like, a real drink in a long time, and I just
We'll
felt
get there.
that shot.
Don't worry, we'll
bless
get there.
me.
It's starting to get fall weather. We're about to have some bonfires and shit.
Like, I
You're gonna
legit
start
can't feel
drinking.
my lips, and when I can't feel my lips, I'm really drunk.
I can feel them. I just reach over the desk and touch your lips. I can feel them.
Oh, sorry. Let's get back to the bloody Bob Sims thing. All right. So, like I said, he was really good at remembering Bible verses and passages and all that stuff. It was, like, really, like, cool, I guess, at that. Like, I mean, what else are they going to do in 18, however many
Yeah, they don't
was?
have anything else to do except disrupt church services.
And so, like, he eventually got over 100 followers, including his family, which, if you count, like, my family,
Is this the birth of Westboro
not
Baptist
100.
Church?
pretty fucking damn close. But no, it's not. It's the 18 something or others. 1877.
I got you.
Sorry. So he started publishing a pamphlet for the cult, and they started calling themselves the Simsites. So, like, his last name is Sims. They're ites of him, so they're Simsites.
Okay. They're ites of him. Never heard that.
Whatever. And anyway,
Ites. There is ites. This is how you get ites. And you need to get a special shampoo after you get the ites.
anyway, their religious pamphlet was called, and this is a quote, "The veil is rent."
What does that mean?
So like in the Bible, when Jesus is dying on the cross, the veil between the regular temple and the Holy of Holies is ripped from the bottom to the top. So that's like a verse in the Bible. The veil has been rent.
I've been in the Holy of Holies.
Like, that's not something you joke about. Okay?
What? Just don't worry about it, all right? Just don't worry about it.
Y'all, I'm really drunk. This is a problem.
That's why. How awesome are these sound effects? The parrot squawk,
They get a lot better when I'm drunk.
right?
But
I love them sober.
But, like, sober is how most people listen to this podcast, and I feel like it's not going to be nearly as fun.
Leah, that's
when I'm
not our
sober.
problem. That's not. You're missing the point.
That's soberly his problem.
All right, it's fine.
Sorry, okay. So, like, The Veil is Rent was their pamphlet, and he basically, like, that became the church's doctrine, and he started using this pamphlet to advocate for basically this destruction of civil authority, because he believed that the government and anybody trying to pass laws was the devil's work.
I agree. I don't agree. I'm not a libertarian.
No, I
Calm down.
no.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, I get the sentiment, but
I
it does
get it.
not work.
Yeah.
But
He's still an
rock
idiot.
on. But anyway,
I was traveling. I was not driving.
Now, the trouble for the Simsites cult started when Bob Sims decided that he was going to be in the moonshine business, which,
Good.
the tip of the hat, Clinky,
Yeah.
starting your moonshine
Clinky.
business.
I'm all for it.
But turns out that was real illegal.
No.
Weird. But
Not in an era
he
when you get fined for
believed-
disturbing church.
like, and a fuck ton of money for disturbing church at that. But he believed that God's law was the only true law, and so that being the case, Sims did not have to follow man's law at all. He believed that he didn't have to pay taxes. He didn't have to pay taxes on his land or his goods or any property, and he definitely didn't have to pay taxes on the liquor that he was illegally distilling.
Good for him. I agree with him.
I don't.
I actually don't. But, you know, I'm all for it.
So
because
not
he's making
only
moonshine.
not only did the pastors of the other local churches completely disapprove of his teachings, they also said, now, excuse me, the liquor is of the devil, and they preached loudly against the demon liquor at every opportunity they had. So this is going to be another quote from the paper at the time. And this is from when Robert Sims was served a warrant to have them stop running an illicit distillery. So here is the quote.
Okay.
A man named Robert Sims runs an illicit distillery in Choctaw County, and when the deputy marshal served a warrant on him last week, Sims tore the document to pieces, saying that he was under no man's authority. Sims claimed that he has the right to do as he pleases, and that any attempt to stop his distillery would be religious persecution.
I agree. Good for you. Robert? Is that right?
His name's Robert, yeah.
Robert? Good for you.
Any attempts to steal my liquor is religious persecution.
He told that man,
You suck!
I found it. I'm sorry. I thought it was really funny.
So, like I said, this led to a lot of trouble for the cult. But
I'm sure it did.
The first incident of violence started in 1891. And this is what happened, and they called it the Choctaw County War. Now, one of Sim's followers wanted... Okay, start again.
Go ahead.
One of Sim's followers... liked the daughter of Reverend Richard Bryant Carroll.
I don't like this at all.
She was good looking.
He needs to calm the fuck down.
Yeah, and Richard Bryant Carroll was the pastor of a church in, now I've never heard this name in my life, y'all. It's Soulwipa, Soulwipa, Soulwipa.
Is that in Alabama?
That's what it says.
I've never heard of that either.
Neither have I. But at any rate, he was a pastor there in that Soulwipa.
It could have been one of those that isn't named that anymore.
Maybe not, but at any rate.
Leah's having a problem.
I'm very drunk. He was the pastor in Soulwipa, and he preached against the Simses moonshining. And he was like, there's no fucking way I'm going to let any daughter of mine court someone from that stupid ass cult. So he was like, no, you step on off. You don't get to talk to my daughter because you're a moonshining bastard.
Motherfucker. Moonshining motherfucker.
I was going with bastard, but fine.
No, I like moonshining motherfucker.
All right. So Carol, Reverend Richard Bryant Carroll, that is, sent the suitor away, and he was like, fuck off. Well, the next morning, which was May the 1st, Carroll was found shot to death on his porch.
Of course he was.
So no one got arrested, but everybody suspected members of the Sims community. So then it escalated.
Uh-oh. That was fantastic. God, that was awesome. I got something for that.
This is not funny when I'm sober. Stop it.
Yeah, it is. It's really funny.
I'm sorry, y'all. I got too drunk. I apologize.
Oh,
damn it!
you
Now
said
I
it.
said it.
Oh no! Dead Time Stories is going to be so happy.
Drink for Dead Time Stories.
Hey, that's what we should do. Drinking game. Every time we say I apologize.
Apparently, it's frequent. I'm sorry. I
don't know
apologize.
if it's frequent. They just enjoy it.
Oh. Well, I enjoy them. They're nice people.
They are.
Shit. I knocked over my shot glass. Anyway.
Breaking all our shit. Oh.
It's not broken. It's fine.
Yet.
Whew. Anyway, so everything sort of escalated from there in the Sims War of Choctaw County. The Choctaw County War, if you were paying attention previously.
I am.
But the violence reached its height on December the 23rd of 1891, and Sims and his men attacked and burned down the home of a local merchant named John McMillan.
I think that's an overreaction.
Yep. Who was one of several people in town who had reported Sims to the federal authorities for moonshining. And those people that were living inside the home, including women and 10 children, which who the fuck has 10 children? That's absurd.
Shit.
I know,
Can't take care of one. We have 2 dogs and my hands are full.
The dogs are a bit much right now. I don't know.
The cat takes care of himself, thankfully. The 2 dogs.
Steve's
Fuck
the
those
best.
bastards, though.
I know, right? But anyway, they awoke to the smell of smoke, and one by one they started running from the home as it burned. And as they exited the burning house, Sims and his followers opened fire indiscriminately and killed everybody who ran out of the burning building.
Just to make sure they were dead.
Just to fucking kill them all. So when the shooting stopped, 1 adult and 3 children were dead. So apparently they weren't good shots, but they were shooting. And at least 9 other people, including Bill McKenzie, who was a teacher in the local school, who was boarding at the McMillan's house, were wounded. And Bill actually ended up dying from her wounds 3 weeks later. So that brings the total of deaths to 2 adults and 3 children.
Wow.
So people were pissed off at this point, obviously.
With reason, I believe.
Yeah, I would say so. So they were like, fuck this guy, we're gonna go get him. So they formed a posse, because why not?
Yeah, you should.
And hundreds of outraged residents decided to surround the Sims home on Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's fine.
I know, right?
The
They weren't singing carols, though, y'all.
whatever they're called, like the rules, the law of war, not apply to a cult, I guess. Like you don't attack on holidays. Like we learned that in school. You
What?
know, you don't know that. There were like
on...
holiday treaties where you don't attack on traditional holidays.
Then I'm
things
gonna
like
call
Christmas
every
and
day
stuff.
ball day, so I don't have to scrotum day.
Scrotum day?
excuse me, so nobody attacks me.
It's gonna say fucking scrotum day. When
That sound effect made no sense.
yeah, cha-ching, scrotum day again. It's here already. Everybody celebrate.
At our house, every day is scrotum
Every
day.
day is scrotum day. Woo!
This could not be funny when I'm sober.
It's going to be, because right now it's fucking hilarious.
Oh, I definitely think that's the alcohol.
Nah.
Y'all, I apologize for this.
Every day is scrotum day. Drink for I apologize.
Anyway, so the local sheriff was like, okay, this could end up real bad if we let this posse. Is posse a verb?
I believe it
Posse's
is.
a verb.
I believe it is.
It's one of those things that could be both
I'm
noun
pretty
and
sure.
verb. Whatever. Regardless of verbs and nouns and shit, the local sheriff was like, we got to do something. We need to get them to surrender. So the angry mob, like we talked about previously, waited throughout Christmas Eve and into Christmas Day for Sims to come out of his homestead until, like, he wasn't giving up. They weren't surrendering until they were like, look, y'all, we're going to bring a cannon from town and we're going to shoot y'all out of there, bitches. A cannon?
They had a cannon.
They were threatening them with a cannon.
A town in Alabama just had a cannon.
It was post-Civil War. I bet there were cannons all over the fucking place.
Probably. That's a good question. Did the Confederate cannons get all, like, decommissioned and melted down and turned into other stuff? Or were they, you know, saved, I guess? Museumized? Turned into museums?
Legit no idea.
They probably got melted.
Most of them, probably. But that's why, like, the Confederate war stuff is a lot more expensive than the Union stuff, because they got rid of most of the Confederate stuff because, you know, treason and shit.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, whatevs. Don't care. At any rate.
I don't care.
So,
I'm just asking.
they threatened him with a cannon, and Sims was like, whoa, cannon? Don't know about it. So, on December the 27th of 1891, this is what the New York Times reported about the incident. And this is a quote. He said, "When Sims heard of this preparation to blow his stronghold to splinters, he looked at his women folk, and his heart misgave him. He began a parley with the sheriff at 2 o'clock. He said he would surrender if the posse would do him no injury, and if the posse would protect him from mob violence." End quote.
Well, good for him, I guess. I mean, at least he's getting protected, right?
But, like, his heart misgave him?
Yeah.
Like, the literal fuck. I don't... Excuse me, New York Times. I thought... But
Got some
no,
Vader sound effects here.
you legit do that on your own. You didn't need the breathing.
Come on. You know, fucking...
Stop. I know that sound too well.
Yeah. I do have sleep apnea.
Sleep apnea?
Yeah, it's one word. It's a medical condition. And it's called sleep apnea.
Do you wear a sleep apnea for your sleep apnea?
I wear a CPAP for my sleep apnea. And it helps you sleep. I don't know where I was going with that one. That one makes no sense. That was just stupid. Oh, Jesus.
All right, let's keep going.
Right, real quick, I do want to say something here because
Yeah.
I'm not sure if anyone else can hear it, but our dogs are outside right next to us, and our big one, Samus, keeps barking. So if you hear that faintly, I'm very sorry. But I'm not going to go back and recut all this shit, so apologies, I guess, but if you hear her, very sorry, it's not on the sound effects board.
We apologize.
That would be very... I apologize.
Drink!
Shit. I have to drink for my own misgivings. Is misgivings right?
Yeah, you got it. You're good.
In that
Keep going.
situation, misgivings
good.
was right. Okay.
It's a good word.
All right.
So, he came out and he surrendered, and he was escorted by a posse of 25 men for protection, and they loaded up all of the followers that were locked in the house in 2 wagons, and they headed for the jail. One was carrying the men, the other was carrying the women, because that's how you separate folk, I guess.
Yeah, they're still separated now. It's accurate.
Now, unfortunately, there was still an angry mob to contend with. And the angry mob caught up with those wagons. And they were like, oh, hell no. And they jerked 4 men out of that men's wagon, and they strung them up on trees nearby.
What? Mm-hmm. Like, hung them?
Hung
or...
them, lynched them. So within minutes, 4 of those men were dead. They didn't touch any of the women because you don't hang women, apparently.
Okay.
So Sims and
were
his
they white
followers,
women at the time?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
that
all
makes
white
sense.
folk.
Yeah.
So Sims and his followers were lynched on Christmas. Well, a couple days after Christmas, because it took them a hot minute to decide that the cannon was a problem. But anyway,
They weren't sure yet.
let's say they were lynched on the Christmas season, and they were eventually
The holiday
buried.
season. It was between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah. So
There
they were
was still holly everywhere.
They were buried in Sims Cemetery, where their tombstones remain to this day as a testimony to the war begun by Bloody Bob Sim.
Wait, so the cemetery is still named after him?
Yep.
Like, still now?
Yeah. It was their cemetery. Like a family cemetery, but like then all of his...
okay. It was a family. Okay, so it's not like a in memoriam, this is named after this great man.
No, it
like
just
a Confederate
belonged to
statue
them.
type of thing.
Yeah. No, it just belonged to them. And so here is a final quote from a newspaper
Okay.
about them. And now the numbers of people that got lynched are debatable, Because I've seen 4 people, I've seen 6, I've seen 7, I've seen 10. I don't know how many. Some.
It was a lot.
We're gonna say some. More people were lynched than should be. Because should be is 0. So.
All right. You win that one. I will give you that one.
All right. So here's the quote. Although 7 of the gang were lynched, enough religious fanaticism is left to cause trouble. So this is talking about like after the lynchings, obviously. Anyway, continue. The Simsites are extremely bitter against all preachers, whom they call agents of the devil. Fearful of his life, Reverend C.R. Lamar, the Methodist preacher at Bladen Springs, recently left his charge, and Reverend T. Cooper took his place, saying that he would face the music. Whatever. The result was that a few nights since, some unknown party has fired at him from the bushes near his home and narrowly missed, sending the bullet into his home. A night or 2 afterwards, he was shot at again, and a note has been found written by one Simsite to another mentioning a number of preachers who are to be killed, including Mr. Cooper. So these sons of bitches didn't quit until they were all fucking in prison or in the grave.
Well, I don't know what other recourse they would have had there. Like, you got to get rid of those fuckers.
I know, right?
But again, extremism probably isn't the answer, but... You know, at some point you gotta just get rid of them.
But like that was the bonkers moonshine.
Them, you know,
that was the bonkers moonshine cult, the shooty bonkers moonshine cult from Choctaw County.
Is that the name of them? The shooty bonkers moonshine cult.
No, they were called the Simsites.
Holy shit! I thought you were being for real.
Oh, yes. Would you like to join the shooty bonkers moonshine cult of Choctaw County?
I didn't know.
I mean, a little.
Yeah. First of all, the name is drawing me right in.
I have a way with words.
I just wasn't sure that was that wasn't their name.
No, they were the Simsites of Choctaw County, and they started the Choctaw County War. But anyway... They be dead now.
I've never heard of that.
Me neither, and I thought it was really cool.
Lived in Alabama literally my entire 30-year existence.
Yep.
And never heard of that. Almost 31. Close.
Almost.
Real close.
Yep. So
never heard of them.
That was the Simsites cult.
Well, they sound like a real fun group.
You know what's really great?
What?
There's another cult from Alabama that I'm going to talk about later.
Why are you talking about it now, though? Let's just clear everybody's memory.
Stop!
Y'all didn't hear that.
But I mean, like, there's so much weird shit that I didn't know about in Alabama. I love this show. I get to learn about all the weird stuff.
You love your own show?
I actually do. I know that's narcissistic and a little weird, but like,
no, I
enjoy the process. I don't
know that we've talked about it before or not, but we do literally listen to the episodes when they release on Sunday, mostly to make sure that they are technically okay.
Which we probably should have done beforehand, but
no, we do it beforehand. I edit it and send it to you beforehand, but anything could fucking happen over the internet, and that's true. That's the main thing. It's mainly to see if everything worked out. So Sunday afternoons we are sitting here biting our fingernails, listening for anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, going, "Oh shit, is everything fine?" And then we always go, "Oh, it's hilarious," but we don't have sound effects. We say that every Sunday. And
we never said anything about sound effects. That is you projecting, you drunken
Every Sunday
asshole.
we say we don't have.
Stop!
Now we do.
What is that even supposed to be?
That was a cricket. This is a crow.
Okay, y'all. I'm sorry.
Oh my God! This is our best episode so far.
It's really not. It's not. And I'm going to take your computer away from you. I gave it. I can take it away.
It's one of those tablet computer Asus things, and it's fucking tits.
Absolutely not.
We just took the keyboard off, and it's my little tablet. And I'm so happy. Listen to this one.
He's not allowed to have this anymore.
It's a dog snarl.
All right. Well, Mitchell.
Somebody's here. Hold on.
We don't even have a doorbell.
I think it's the dogs. I think they're ringing the doorbell.
All right, y'all. We're going to have to move on because Mitch is literally crazy now.
No, I'm fine.
Are you ready for a toast?
I'm so ready for a toast.
Okay, well, lift your goblet high into the sky. Or your solo cup, whatever you got.
That's what I got.
If you don't have a goblet, a solo cup would be just fine. So lift your vessel of drinking.
Your drinking vessel.
Your drinking vessel skyward. Hoist it.
A vessel of drinking.
And let's toast Julia and Bob. Maybe not Bob. Maybe
No, don't toast Bob.
Don't
let a
toast
cult.
Bob.
Toast the picketers.
Nope, I'm not going to toast the lynch mob either. That's not okay.
That's not good either.
I'm going to toast that poor reverend who didn't want his daughter dating some creepy cult member.
That's a deal.
I'm a toast
Fine
him.
with that.
Anyway, so a toast. With Julia's ghost, there's no need to fear it as long as you don't shut the door on that spirit. Bloody Bob Sims made a whole lot of liquor. He thought he was quick, but the lynch mob was quicker. Drink.
That was a good one. Very good this week. I will not have to say...
You're fired!
I really am going to murder him, y'all. I'm so sorry.
With this soundboard I found.
I'm drunk and a little exasperated. Do you know how hard of an emotion that is? Drunk
No.
exasperation?
No, I don't. But I'm here for you. I support you. I'm happy to be your husband.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And
I bet you're going to cut this part out.
no, I'm not gonna cut this. This is so sweet.
It is sweet. You're so sweet.
I'll be back.
Stop! Okay.
All right, yeah.
No more sound
That's
effects. Go to the outro.
Well, we're not gonna sound effects for the rest of the episode, but if I get some major objection to the soundboard, we'll cut it completely. But for now, it's hilarious. It stays, and you can find more of this same humor at our Facebook, Instagram, at Southern Spirits Podcast. We're also on Twitter at S Spirits Podcast. Please rate us and review us on any of those platforms. Send us any messages on any of those platforms. If you have a podcast and want to advertise with us, send us a message or an email at southernspiritspodcast@gmail.com. If you have any stories relating to an SEC school for our brand new series, Tailgate Tales, coming up next week, send us those at any of those places, but especially at southernspiritspodcast@gmail.com.
Or if you have a complaint about that soundboard, southernspiritspodcast@gmail.com.
Look, complain all you want. Keep it to yourself, but feel free to complain. Just don't tell me about it.
Complain. I'm always here for that.
Nope. Soundboard is staying. Maybe. It just depends.
Stop.
But yeah, if you have any postcards or in general things to send, Leah loves them. I mean, I like getting shit too, but Leah really loves it. So
I do.
Send stuff to P.O. Box 1743, Hartselle, Alabama. That's HARTSELLE 35640. And we're going to have to see y'all next week.
Bye, y'all.